Hello and how are you? My name is Muhindo Mbarak, and in this video we're going to proceed with our lecture 14 of learning how to make mobile applications using Flutter. So as you can see, we have already started our application that we always use to practice with, and in the previous class we stopped at the level of creating a database. So in today's class we're going to take it from there. We're going to see how you can create a table of database, and then how you can start saving their data and retrieving data. And we are using SQFlite as our package. So I hope you're ready to do this with me. If you are, then let's get started with our today's business. So you can see here is our code, here is our emulator, and this is where we were. So we want to be able to initialize a table. So if you come to the code, I can expand here and I come to the code, and then come to where the project is. So you can see this is the button of submit, and then here when you click on submit, we could create this initialize movie, and then you say save movie. So in this save movie is where there is a method of trying to create table. So last time we did the logic of creating a table, of checking if the table if the table exists, we create a table. If the table doesn't exist, we create it, and this is how we approached it. So if you come to our method, if you come to the method of save a movie, you can see here there's a response that is an empty string, and then in this response we'll be just trying to respond if something was successful or not. And then inside this movie.init table, it's just a method that you created here, and this method will be used to do what? To initialize the table. So you can see we have here database db equals to utils.open database. This is the method that we put in utilities. If I press Ctrl and I click, you'll see what it is. It is just a method that opens the database and then return the database. So we check if the database is null. We say that failed to initialize a database. Okay, so in case the database is null, so maybe we can return here something like false or something like that. So our logic, maybe we should always return a string. Like if something fails, we return a string. So if we are going to do that, we'll have to put here string, and then come here and put maybe a string of response, and call it resp, and make it equal to nothing. So if it fails, so we can put the response in this, and then we do what? We return. And then we return that response. So that is in fail. So if it creates database successfully, the next thing we do is now to try to create a table. Okay, so we say string equals to SQL create table if not. You see, this is very important. You have to put if not exist. If you don't put this if not exist, then it will not do. So you create table if not exist, then I put here the table name, and then I go ahead and add the string, which is this one, and then I add this, open this bracket, I concatenate on this string, and they say I open this bracket, and they say id is an integer and a primary key, and then they say title is a text and act is a text, and then rating is a real. So real is the one that you can store numbers, etc, something like that. So after I have to execute that SQL. So to execute that SQL, I can just simply say db.execute, and then I put the SQL. So I can put this one in a try and catch. So try and catch, it will help us to see if there was an error or not. So I can simply say try, and then you say try, and then you say open curly bracket, and then put catch, and then put e, and then see here. So if it successfully creates the movie, successfully creates the table, I don't save anything in the response, so the response remains empty. If it fails, so it will put here the error in the cache, and then say fail maybe to initialize table, and then put here the reason. Okay, so if one put the reason, you can just simply put here like this, e dot what dot get message dot to string. It will give you the reason why it failed to initialize that table. So after doing that, you can say maybe here it goes like this. After doing that, I return back the response. So this one will help us to initialize the what? To initialize the table. So I wait here. So when I wait here to create the table, I can just simply say maybe response. Okay, so I say response equals to that. So if we know if it does not return if it does not return an empty string, then we know there is an error. If it returns an empty string, then we know there is no error. So I can just simply put here and check if the string is not empty, and then I can maybe make some toast and say utils dot toast and say failed to start table. Okay, so maybe I can put here maybe because, and then I put the response. Okay, so I can use that to do what, to if in case it fails. Okay, so I can return here. So after doing that, I can go ahead and say maybe if it successfully does that, I can just simply put here utils dot what dot toast and say successfully started the table. Okay, so that in case it's success. So let me go ahead and put here some information. So I'll come here and put drunken master, and then I put the actor Jackie Chan, and then after the rating I put 4.5. Then after I go ahead and say submit. So you see table started successfully, database started successfully. So it means that it has created the database successfully. So it has created the table, it has done all that logic. Because this if you come here to database, you see we have here, we're calling this save movie, and it executes this one successfully. So everything is all right. So that's how you create a table. You can pause and look at this method that I'm using for creating table, and you can look at this method that I'm using for inserting the database, and then understand properly how a table is created and how the table is made sure that it is created. So after doing that, I can go ahead and do now the logic of saving a movie. So to save a movie, so I just check here, if it is not empty, I return. If it is empty, so I can even remove this toast, I can be checking it from the other side. So I just say if it is not empty, and then you know there is an error, I return that response there. So the next thing is now to do what? To insert the data into the table. Okay, is to insert now the data into the table. So after making sure that the table has been initialized properly, then you have to insert the data into the table. So to insert the data into the table, we'll first get the database. All right, so we can do like this. Let's see, so we need the database, so we can just simply be getting the database from here, and then we come and put this db, init table, we pass here. So it should be exploiting the database, so otherwise we will be repeating ourselves. So here we just be passing the database from here, and that will save us time not to call this twice. So after making sure that the database is the table is initialized successfully, so the next thing is now to go ahead and insert. Okay, so to insert into the movie, there are two ways. You can either use transactions, or you can use you can use a single, you can insert one by one. So let's go and see how we can insert a movie. So we'll come just simply to our browser and then search for what? For SQFlite, and then come to data to the documentation, and then you see the logic of inserting a movie. Inserting a database, a table. So you can use this to insert by writing an SQL. That is one way. You can also use another way to convert it to JSON and insert it using JSON. So those are the two ways of how you can insert the data. So let me show you. All right, I'll show you both of them. Okay, so let us begin with this one of writing an SQL. I can just simply copy this one and then I'll go ahead and so after all right, so this is the way how you can use a transaction. We'll look at this one later. All right, so let me show you how you approach it. So you write the SQL. So SQL is going to be, this is one way, the first method of using an SQL. You just simply say SQL equals to insert into, and then you say what you say, you specify the table, right? Just like the way normal SQL can be. You specify the table, and then after you open bracket, and then you put values that you're going to insert in. So you put, for example, title, actor, and then the rating. You put them in this bracket, and after that you put values. You put values, and then you put there what you want to insert, and surround them with what with single quotes. So you can write this one as single string, but you can separate them like this. So I'm going to insert the title, the movie, and the rating, and they should be in this order. And then after you execute that SQL. So to execute the SQL, you can just simply say db.execute, and then you say you pass the SQL. So if it successfully does it, if you run it to try and catch, if it successfully does it, it will show you success. If it fails, it will put here it has failed. So let's go ahead and toast the response. So that is one way, by writing an SQL like the normal SQL, and then insert it and then execute it. So if I go ahead and click, you see successfully saved movie. So it means that it has successfully saved movie. So that is one way, all right, by writing an SQL. So that is one way. I will show you the second way. So let me go ahead and comment this. So you can try this before you comment it. Try this writing a SQL. So let me comment it, but you should try it before you do what you. All right, so let's do another way. So another way, we can start using the database transactions. This one's almost the same way. So you write the SQL and then inside them using database transaction. So there's another way where you convert it to JSON, and then you insert using the JSON DB inside, and that's the most powerful way, and that's the best way. So to do that, let me show you. I have it here. I think it's an example. All right, so this is the way that I want to show you this one. Yeah, I think this is the one. So yeah, like this. So another way you can, the most powerful way, the one that I always use, is to convert the data into the JSON and then you insert it there. So you can simply say await.db.insert, and then here you specify the table, right? You specify the table. So the table is equal to movie dot what dot table name, like this, and then here you pass the data. This data can be passed in form of what? In form of JSON. So you can open your curly bracket like this and then start passing the data. So this is the most powerful way of inserting the data. So I can just simply put here in try and catch. So you see, like this. So this is the best way. You just put you just simply say db.insert, then you put the table name, comma, and then you put the keyword, I mean the title and the value, the title and the value, the title and the value, as how it is in your table. So if you try to save, see, successfully saved. This is the most powerful one, the most one that I want. So all right, so instead of you repeating yourself like this, you can write a method that can convert the data to JSON in this format, right? So we're going to write that method, so we should not keep on repeating ourselves. All right, so we can just simply come and put it here after the method. This one, we come and put it here. We can call it, so this method, it will be returning, so just simply put it will be returning map, string and string. So that's what it will be returning. So you can call it what? To JSON, or you can call it to map, like this. So this method is just simply converting to what? To JSON or to map. So you just go ahead and say to map, and then you open this curly bracket like this, and then you put map, and then you put its value and the keyword, value and the keyword. That is one way. Or you can just simply say, return, and then you open curly bracket like this, like this. So you put the value and the keyword, the value and the keyword, the value and the keyword. So like this. So you can put, if you're expecting the doubles, so you can put here the word dynamic instead of string. So I should allow dynamic strings. It should allow doubles and different characters, I mean different data types. So this is the method that can convert your data to what? To JSON. So you can just say to JSON like this, or you can say to map, or you can call it to anything that you want. Okay, so I want to be calling this method so it can convert this string, I mean this object, to what we want. So here, instead of writing this one manually, we just simply say db insert and then specify the table and then call that method. Okay, we're going to call it and say to what? To JSON. I just simply say this. This is a static method. All right, so you can just simply say movie dot what? Dot to JSON like this. So by doing like that, it will be able to do what? To give you the same results. Okay, so now there is what we call conflicts. So what if maybe we are editing and want to replace? So you can go ahead and say maybe conflict algorithm, so and specify another method called conflict algorithm. So in case it finds something that has the same ID, you just simply put here, for example, replace. So this method can be used to replace something, so it can be used for editing. So if something has the same ID, just simply replace. So you can just simply put here like what? There are different methods. So we have dot fail, so it should fail, dot abort should cancel it, and then dot replace or dot rollback, it will bring it back to where it was. So put dot replace. So when we'll be sending back something that has the same ID, it will replace it. So here dot response, I can go ahead and put here to nothing. So the response, I put it to nothing. So in case there is nothing, it should, in case successfully run it, I just put here nothing. Okay, so we can make decision maybe from the other side, right? So I know if it brings nothing, I know it has successfully implemented. So you see a response here. So that's it. I think that's it. So that's how you insert data. Go ahead and try it. Okay, so there's another one which you call transactions. So transaction will help when you're looping, when you're inserting too much data. We'll look at that one when you proceed, right? Or you can create a multiple batch and then put there the data and then insert them, all of them at once. We'll look at that one when you proceed. But make sure that you understand here. I'll explain it again. So here we open the database, this is the method of opening the database. Okay, and then after, let me go back here. After opening the database, the next thing is we do what we open the table. We make sure that the table is started. So this is the method of starting the table, this one here. Just go ahead, check if the database is not null. If it is not null, we create a table and make sure that it is, we put here if not exist, and then return response. If there is nothing, we know that successfully. So check here if the response is nothing. If the response is not empty, we say that has failed. We return back here. So if it is successful, I go ahead and say DB, the DB that we open here, that insert. Then we put here the table name, then we put here to JSON. So to JSON, this is the method that just replaces the data with the values. Okay, key and the value, key and the value. In that way, it brings back the map. So let's say conflict algorithm. So if you want to use this to replace in case there is something which has the same ID, so you'll use this one, right? Like this one here. All right. So after, then you say if it failed, then you return here. So after, we go ahead and return the response. So this is the second way of doing it, that I've commented it by writing the SQL, but that's the bad way, or the worst way, or so the very good way. So doing like this, it will make yours effective. So let's go ahead and go back to the user interface and check. So since we're going to expect a response, so if something it's going to take time, you have to put a wait, right? So we can just simply put here maybe string response equals to await. Okay, equals to await. So await will always need here to have a sync like this. All right. Like this. So after we check, if it is not 0, then we know it failed. Okay, so I say if the response is not empty, you know, as according to how we write the algorithm, then we know it did what? It failed. So I can just simply say failed. You make a toss and say failed to save a movie because, and then you put the response. Then let's go ahead and put here the what. So you can say if it show maybe it is success, we put false. All right, so if it successfully does that, then we can put here it's saved the movie successfully. You make a toast, and here you make sure you know that you are returning. All right, so that's it. That is it. So let's go ahead and submit. You see, movie saved successfully. That is very nice. So in this method, if it is success, it should show green background color. If it fails, it should show red. All right, I think it's not implementing that. So I hope you understand now. Okay, so if I do like this, it inserted the movie successfully. So it failed to do this one. So now after inserting the movie successfully, we have to clean the what? The table, right? Let's clean the table after inserting the movie successfully. So to clean the table, we'll just simply say, I mean, we clean the form. So we have our form key here. You know how to create that form key. We just simply go ahead and say, so if it successfully did that, then say form key dot what? Dot reset, like this. So it started the move successfully, and then we reset this one. All right, so why is the rating not resetting? Okay, whatever. You can use patch. All right. Okay. So we reset the table after it has successfully inserted. Okay, so if you try submit again, it will ask us to, okay, let's now be validating. So add movie. So when you try to submit, okay, after resetting the table, also to have to reset the data in the what? In the form. So data in the form equals to new movie. This new form data, we reset it to nothing. So if you try to save, so why is it bringing movie saved successfully? So check if title is empty or what. Okay, then we only call this one when there is some data. All right. So let's make sure that we clear the title and the what, and the actor and the rating, and reset the form. All right, yeah, that can be enough, right? So submit. I don't know why it keeps saving movie saved successfully hit. Have you to reload? I think we need to reload. All right, so if title is empty or actor is empty, let me first check here. This is the toast. Let's just check there and see if there's things are not empty. Submit. Null. Oh, they are null. Why? So you can just simply say, if all right. Yep. I think that's okay. All right, we'll fix that one later. Let's first save time. All right, so after saving the movie successfully, we now need to display here the data. Okay, so you see here there is no names added, so let's go ahead and put there like there's no movies instead of no names. So you can put here no movies added yet, like this. So I want to make sure like if there's no movies, you should be able to do what? To refresh. Okay, or we can just simply put here on top here the button of refreshing. Okay, so you can get here the button of what? Of add movie, and then copy it and then come and put it here of refresh. Okay, let me first put a divider and then come and put here refresh. So this the point of this small button will be just to try to get the movies, okay, from the database. Okay, you can say fetch movies like this. Okay, so fetch movies, it should be fetching the movies from what? From the database. So there are so many ways of how you can fetch movies from what? From database. So you can write the query. One way is to write the query. Okay, so writing the query will be able to do what? To get for you the movies from the data from the database. For example, just simply say db.raw query, then you say select all from the table that you want to select the data from. I can just simply say db.query and then you specify the column that you want. You can even put the where condition. So let's go ahead and write that logic of getting the movie from the database. We're going to first work on the logic of getting all of them, and then we'll also work on the logic of maybe putting the where conditions. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to write a static method on the movies that we'll be using to get the movies. So let's see. Let's write here just maybe it's a method that we can use to get movies. So I can just simply say get movies. Okay, so we're going to put this method in here. Okay, so create method. Yes, so this is the method we'll be using to get movies. So it's going to be movies.get, right? Get, and then we'll be fetching those get and put them here. So let's go ahead and write that method inside the movie. So I'll click on go to the movie, and then we're going to write some static method that we're going to use to get movies. So we can just simply come and say static, then you put future, and then you open, you put list of of movie. All right, and then we can just simply go ahead and say get movies, like this. All right, so I can open here curly bracket and then put the logic of getting the movies. So you can just simply do that, and then after, so this is a list of movies. So after, we're going to write now the select movies query. Okay, so we first initialize the database. So our database db equals to, like the way we initialize it, db. So make sure this one is asynchronous. All right, so after doing that, we go ahead and write the logic of getting the movies. So we make sure that the table is initialized, and we make sure that the table is not empty. This is initialized successfully. Just successfully, we go ahead and write the logic, which is going to be the map. It's going to return a JSON, right? It's going to return a JSON, and then you say maps string dynamic equals to db.query. So db.query, we pass the table that you need to select. So if you want to put the condition, you can put here comma and start attaching the condition, right? Or even the column that you want. So if you want everything, you just do like that. So you can, for example, pass here the where argument, but we'll look at that one later, right? Okay, so let's go ahead, and after doing that, we'll go ahead and loop through that so that the list of movies is empty. Then we go ahead and loop through this this map. Okay, so we're going to create a method that is going to be converting the data that is in the JSON from JSON to the data itself, right? So let's go ahead and create this method from JSON. So let's go ahead and create it. It's going to be static, and then to be returning the movie, and then say from JSON to be expecting that data, that kind of data, and then it will go ahead and return, say movie equals to movie, and then say movie.id to get the ID, to get the title, the actor, the rating. So here we are getting the data from from the database. We're trying to pass it from database. Then after, we return the movie itself. So after here, it means that now we're going to be looping and say variable character, or can say whatever equals to in maps. This is going to be a loop, our loop in maps, and then say movies.add. Then we say movie.from JSON. So this one is going to call this method and convert this JSON data from the database to, and then after, we return the movie, we return the list of movies. So by doing like this, we'll be able to get the list of all movies. So now let's go to the other side and call this method in order to get the movies. So you can pause the video and look at these two methods carefully of how we can collect the data. However, here you can even pass the where conditions, right? So let's go ahead and display the data, right? So to display the data, we'll just simply come back to our our table, and then we see this table we're using what to call people, okay, but you can call maybe items. So let us go ahead and call this one items. Let me just first go and change this one. So it's going to accept movie model. Can call this one maybe movies, right? So we come here, instead of calling people, put there movies. So it's a movies, so it's going to be person UI, so it's going to be movie UI. So let's go ahead and change this one to movie UI. Okay, let us first display just a single text, and then you put here the movie index dot what dot title, only its title. That's what we're going to display, right? So after doing that, I can just simply put there some list style. Let's put there list style, and then put here title. Okay, like this. All right, so list style, you already know it. So I'm displaying movie title and what, and the actor. So after doing that, let's go ahead and now do this. Instead of putting people here, I'm going to put here movies, like that. So you can just simply say movies equals to await, and then you do like that one. So this one also do the same thing. So movie.get movies, then say put.then, and then wait and get the value and say movies equal to what, and then say state. You can see that. So I click on refresh movie here. You should know it is not showing. Okay, let's see what's why. So you can just simply say equals to await movie.get movies. So I've put here async like this. So and then after, remember to set state like this. Oh, you cannot set state. Why? Cannot change state. Let's set state like this. It should be in capital letter, comma case. So save, fetch movie, boom. You see, those are our movies. They have all come. Fetch movies. So if we come back and say click fetch movie, see, movies are coming. Come back and say fetch movies, movies are there. So here we can go ahead and add there some more logic, like I can put order by. So I can say order by, and say order by, and then say ID descending. So the most latest movie should be on top. You can even order by name, etc. Okay, this is in the query. So if I go ahead and open this, fetch movie, you see the most latest movie is there. So if I put here, say commando by Swaz Nigga, like this, submit, it is there. So when I say fetch movie, you see commando by Swaznig. So let us make it lively. So if I want to make it lively, so I want, after successful submission, it should automatically call this one fetch movie like this. All right, so another thing, like you see, when I will add a movie here, Rainbow by John Rambo. So let's say maybe 4.3, submit. You see, it should automatically refresh it. Okay, should automatically add here the movie here, the latest one. So I'll just put maybe Kung Fu Hustle, and then put Daniel, and then submit. It is supposed to automatically fetch, right? So I think we put in the wrong place. It's supposed to be after save movie. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, our time is up. Then lastly, like you see, when you're coming here for the first time, movies are not being fetched. So you may need to put the logic whereby the movies, there should be a logic where that when you open, automatically the movies should be fetched. So you can do that by putting here what you call init state. So if you override this initialize state like this, it will be able to call the first method when the system starts or when you open this screen. So initialize state, I call the movies. All right. So if I come here, you see movies come automatically. So that's it for today. In the next lecture, we'll have to start from there. So make sure that you practice everything. Make sure that you understand everything, because this is very core feature of mobile applications, whereby I can save the database offline. Watch carefully, very carefully. I will share the source code on my GitHub, but for now I want you to first try it before I give you the what? I give you the link. So watch carefully, don't give up. Make sure that you read the documentation in case you're stuck, and make sure that you understand everything. All right, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and let us meet in the next video. Don't mix. Goodbye.